Hello again, and thanks for tuning in. In this video we're going to talk about Robert Jenrick and a statement he made in Parliament over the past couple of days that I think has far-reaching ramifications for the Labour Party's approach to law and order in this country. We'll start by having a look at the clip.
Turning to the new sentencing guidelines that's been published alongside this statement, which will make a custodial sentence less likely for, and I quote, ethnic minorities, cultural minorities, and faith minority communities. Why is the Justice Secretary enshrining this double standard, this two-tier approach to sentencing? This is an inversion of the rule of law. We on this side of the House believe in equality under the law. Why doesn't she?
Okay, so there you have Mr. Robert Jenrick posing a question of the Justice Minister Shabana Mahmood. So what is a pre-sentence report? So a pre-sentence report is a report that's produced for the court by one agency or another agency, and what it's meant to do, it's meant to give the court guidelines for what should be the appropriate sentence for an individual. And these pre-sentence reports can generally mitigate some of the sentence that somebody's going to receive if there's a reason why they may have committed the crime. Now, on a fundamental level, I disagree with this in general terms. The reason I disagree with it is, if you commit a crime, it's relatively simple, you should be punished for it. And you can talk about mitigating circumstances all you like, but really at the core of it is, if you're going to commit a crime, you should be punished for it. You can't then stand in court and wail and whine about how difficult your life's been, because I'm not really interested in that. You commit the crime, you should get punished in line with everybody else. However, we're not discussing that today. What we're discussing is the question asked by Mr. Jenrick. So as you can see here, if you are at risk of a first custodial sentence, then a report is deemed appropriate. Fine. If you're a young adult, 18 to 25, this is fine. Have you had problems at home? Is there other things that we need to be looking at? This is fine. Then we get on to women. This is an age-old debate really about the criminal justice system, in that women get different treatment to men. I think this is largely down to child rearing and other issues, and the fact that men are the ones that typically commit a violent crime. That's another debate for another time. So I'll move on from women getting lighter sentences than men, even though again I have a disagreement with that. So then we get on to ethnic minority, cultural minority, and or faith minority community. So if you're from an ethnic minority, the new guidelines say that you should get some special treatment and that you should get a pre-sentence report completed for you simply by a view of the fact that you are from an ethnic minority, cultural minority, and or a faith minority community. And this is Mr. Jenrick's point about a two-tier system. Why should you, if say you are a Sikh, if you're a Sikh in this country and you go out and you clobber somebody over the head and you end up in court, why should you get a special report done when a person who isn't from a faith minority community will just choose a white person, for instance, in this country? Why should there be a difference if all of the variables are the same age, same gender, same crime, same amount, everything's the same? Why should person B get a pre-sentence report and person A not? Because a pre-sentence report is likely going to lead to some reduction in the sentencing that person's going to get. And this is clearly not correct, and clearly it shows a disparity here between different communities in this country. And this is what Robert Jenrick was raising here. This is a two-tier justice system, provably. There's no way that can be justified. There's nothing anybody can say, oh, well, this is why this is happening, or at least nothing that I can see. Now, a couple of the other ones here, if you're pregnant or postnatal, So, let's take it that a woman, although in the modern day, I gather from X that men can apparently get pregnant, but we're not going to talk about that today. We're just talking about women. So women, a pregnant woman, yes, we don't want babies being born in prison. And if you are a carer, yes, I would 100% agree that if you're the sole carer of someone and you commit a crime, there may be something to mitigate the length of that sentence if it's going to affect somebody else. Although again, if you commit the crime, you should do the time. Further down, if somebody's disclosed that they're transgender, then a pre-sentence report may be necessary. Likewise, if you have addiction issues, chronic medical conditions, and so it goes on, you've been a victim of domestic abuse or slavery or coercion, grooming, etc. Most of that's okay. My issue with that would be if somebody's disclosed that they're a transgender person and they've changed from a woman to a man to a woman, whatever it is, then why should they get any preferential treatment? They shouldn't. If you're a transgender person, fine, you want to change your sex and go to a different gender, but you shouldn't really expect any special treatment in the court. Likewise, if you've got an addiction issue and that's causing you to go out and commit lots of crime, then should you be given any special treatment? In my view, no, you shouldn't. If you've committed the crime, you need an appropriate level of sentencing, which is, commensurate with that. And so the issues I've got with this are ethnic minorities, cultural minorities, faith minorities, and transgender people. Now, it's clear, in conclusion, it's clear here that this is part of the Labour Party's agenda. This isn't acceptable. Law and order and the punishment of people that do crime, is very, very important. It's no good if you're going to say, this person here, they've just moved here from Eritrea and they didn't really understand all of the cultural norms and they didn't really get what was going on, and so we're just going to do a report and, this may mitigate something. No. If you come to this country and you commit a crime, you should get the same punishment as everybody else. That's called being fair. And yet again, the view of the general public of what's going on here behind the scenes with these judges, as I've previously covered in previous videos, the public perception of the justice system is getting a lot worse. The trust is eroding in the justice system. People have to feel that the justice system is fair. This isn't fair. This isn't right. And this is, in effect, provably a two-tier justice system, which is unfair against the native-born people of this country. And that, I would put to you, is completely and utterly unacceptable. Thanks very much for your time. I appreciate it.